Hey everyone, in this video I'll show you how you can import data from Excel to Power BI. Before we start, here are some timestamps if you want to get to specific parts of the video. Alright, let's get to the computer. So I have this Excel file with dummy data from a retail company, and in this specific file I have information of all the sales in the last 4 years. And I have another Excel with information of all our customers. So how do we get this data into Power BI and combine both files to create visuals? Well, we'll open Power BI, and if it's the first time you are opening the software, you just gotta close this pop-up screen, and you can import data from Excel in multiple ways. A couple of them is, if you are in the newest versions of the software, you'll have these suggestions, and the first one is import data from Excel. Or you can come here to the data ribbon and select Excel. Let's click on that, and once you click on Excel, it'll open the file browser, and as you can see I have both of my files right here. So I'll first import the sales file, click on open, and this will open a pop-up screen called the navigator. The navigator changes a little bit between data source and data source. In this case, it lets you preview the data that you're gonna import. So as you can see, I have my file right here, and these are the tables and tabs on that file. If I click on sales 1, I'll have all the information, or the preview of the information in that table. And to import that information, we're just gonna mark this checkbox, and you can load the data directly into Power BI, or you can transform the data. I always recommend for you to transform the data before loading it into Power BI. Another thing to take into account is that you can import data from multiple tabs in the same file. So if you have more tabs besides sales, you could check on that checkbox and all the data will get into Power BI. So let's click on transform data. Why do you want to transform the data? Because it's pretty common that when you're working with Excel, you'll have to transform a little bit the information that you have in that file. What type of transformations? Maybe you'll have to separate columns, or calculate a value, or add new columns. So instead of doing that in Excel, you can do this in Power BI. This is Power Query Editor. So Power Query is like a middle phase between your data source and importing into Power BI. And here you can do all those transformations. So let's say I need to filter only the data from the East region, and I also need to separate this column to get the first 3 letters. So I can come here, and you can see there's a tool to split columns. I'll do it by delimiter, and I'll say only the left delimiter. Alright, there we go. And finally, let's say I want to have another column with information from my sales, but adding the tags. So I'll add a new column. Let's make it a custom one, and I'll name it sales plus tax. And it'll just be my sales column multiplied by 1.13, and here I have it. So as you can see, all the steps I applied are stored in this column called applied steps, and that's what I told you. The next time you refresh this dataset, even though you have a million more rows in that Excel file, all the data will be transformed with these steps. Let's get data from the customer file. We can do that from Power BI in the same way that we imported the sales file, or from Power Query. we can import that other file. So I'll come to Home, I'll click on New Source, and I'll select the Excel workbook. And here I'll just look for the customers. Okay, it's the same process as before. You can see that the navigator has opened. If I click on customers, I have a preview. I'll check on it, so it enables me to import the data, and I'll click on OK. And as you can see, here I have the information from the sales, and now I have the information from customers. If you see, the column headers are column 1 and column 2, but here I have customer ID and customer name. So let's do something about it. I'll just come here and I'll tell this table to use the first row as headers. There we go. That's the data in the form we needed. So once you've transformed all your data, you'll just come here to close and apply, and that'll take all the data into Power BI. So let's give it a sec. Okay, so the data just imported. As you can see in the right, we have the customers table and the sales table. It's in a similar layout as pivot tables in Excel, where you have the name of the table, and when you open it, you have all the columns of that table. But before creating visuals, let's go to the model view for you to see how these tables are interacting together. Power BI automatically created a relationship between our customers table and our sales table. This is going to enable us to create visuals using data from both tables without doing something like a VLOOKUP in Excel. If you have multiple tables, here you can change how those tables interact with each other. So let's come back to the report page, and here we can start creating our visuals. So let's say I want to create a sales by order date chart. So I'll just drag the order date column to the report, and I'll change it to a stacked column chart. And I want to see sales. So yeah, we have it there, but actually I want a line chart. I think it'll be better. So I'll change it, and I don't want a hierarchy, I want order date. All right, so we have it there. I also want to see how many orders I have for each product category. So I'll drag a donut chart right here, and let's count the orders. Let's see, there we go. And let's see it by category, it's right here. All right. Okay. And finally, I'd like to have sales by city. So I'll have another bar chart right here, and let's put sales, but actually let's use the column we made in Power Query, sales plus tax. Let's put it right here, and I want to see it by each city, or maybe each state. Okay, let's change it right here, and there we go. Okay, so that's how you import data from Excel into Power BI. If you got value from this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, you can watch the next video to keep leveling up your digital skills. Bye!